You know what we're talking about today?
I'm talking about fathers, bro.
Bro, you're not supposed to know the topic. You're supposed to pretend like you don't know the topic, and then I'm going to tell you what the topic is.
Oh, shit. Okay.
What's wrong with you? You don't know the topic?
Hey, okay. You ready? I'm going to slide in.
Why would you need to slide? No, I need to ask you, do you know? Fuck it. Fuck it. It's positivity because it's Father's Day, man. We gonna talk some positive shit because y'all not gonna steal the 1 month that fathers get and make it about everything but father and celebrating fathers. Y'all can do that shit in Leprechaun Day month or Heart Day month, whatever other months that nobody cares about. We're not gonna talk about old stupido from Arizona who decided he gonna go cross country with some guns and start a race war at a Bad Bunny concert. First of all, why would you think that mostly blacks would be at a Bad Bunny concert? That's not even a concert that we would be at like that.
Hey, there's more than just black and white, though. Maybe he wanted between Hispanics and whites.
No, he very clearly said African Americans was his target. He said, I want them damn niggas. I want them.
Tim Scott saying that black folks were better under Jim Crow. That's what we really had this month.
Wait, did he really say that?
Yeah, he did. But then he tried to correct himself, and then, what was it, the NBC news anchor, she's like, nah, we're gonna play your shit back.
Look, it's crazy because whenever you try to be like, I'm neutral, or you know what, maybe I do agree with what Republicans are saying, somebody in that group fucks it up, right? Like that whole, what was that prop I sent you? They got that whole manifesto for like what happens if a Republican gets in office and what they want to do.
Oh, okay. Talking about Project 2025.
That shit, bro. So it's like, even if a black person was like, yo, I'm not trying to be a sheep for the Democrats. I want to think for myself. Here's the problem, my brother. You put those people in and the extremists have got so much pull on their party that you are literally shooting yourself in the fucking foot.
Exactly.
We're not letting brothers who just need a really good wash so they can reveal what color they really got underneath their skin to co-opt Father's Day. Father's Month. It's Father's Month. Fuck it. I'm not even going to relegate it to just a day. It's Father's Month.
Father's Day.
But first, though, I got to ask you, when we think of Father's Day, right? I think of how I'm going to phrase this question. When you think of celebrity and the fathers, who's the first celebrity that comes to your mind in terms of not necessarily the quality of father, because we don't know these people, but quantity of father? Who immediately comes to your head when you think of this has got to be the MVP for most damn kids ever produced?
Well, I guess there's only one person that does, bro, and it's the only father who is doing a meet and greet coming up this Sunday.
Oh my
with his
God.
11 goddamn kids and what, 5 or 6 babies? It's Nick Cannon, bro. It's Nick Cannon. It's Nick Cannon. He has all them damn kids. He's trying to build an army. I don't get what he's doing.
He's trying to build.
You can't even give him the father title, bro, because he can't be your father. All them kids. It's impossible. But
that's not true. No, we're not gonna let you do that.
What makes a father? What's a father to you?
Gonna flip it back on me. Okay, all right. Nah, I'm with you. I'm ready for some of these questions. What makes a father to me? Off the top of my head, I ain't even gonna give it time to think. I'm gonna just step in this shit. A father to me is somebody who teaches their child how to survive in this world through love, lessons, and there's a third thing that I wish I could come up with on the fly. But love, lessons, protection is a good one. Love, lessons, and protection.
Okay. I'll just continue forward, bro. At what age does, let's say...
Wait, why it seem like you got a sheet of questions over there that you looking at right now?
I know where I'm going. At what age do you just be like, okay, my kid's grown, I no longer have to be a father? What's that? What age is that? Anybody else out there? And listen, this is a valid question though, bro, because different cultures, different communities have different, I think, thoughts on how this goes.
Damn, we jumped from Nick Cannon. Okay, all right.
We'll go back to Nick Cannon because
That's a fucked up question.
Is it 18 done? Hey, I raised you. You made it. That's it.
I'm not a father. I'm gonna make that very clear. So I'm speaking out of my ass right now. I'm going off of personal experiences. I think the right answer should be and this is for any parent, but since we talking about fathers, I'm gonna focus on fathers right now. At no point should you take off the hat and be, I'm done being a father. Now, your role as a father should adapt. Okay. No, you can't go around whooping your kid at 22 like you did when he was 10, 8, or below.
We don't believe in corporal punishment.
Well, that's not true, because I believe to a certain age, you should do corporal punishment. I know in 2024, people are like, oh my God, you can't do that. You should have hit the baby. The baby is gonna be so fucked up, and it's gonna do bad things because you whoop it. The baby gonna be fine. 95% of us that is over the age of 25 got our asses whooped, and we ain't done no weird shit. Corporal punishment to me should end once a baby can comprehend language. I ain't even answered the other two questions.
Oh, you're right.
So before a child can fully express themselves, then young babies, bro. Yeah. Corporal punishment to me is simply a way, and I'm talking about with your hand, not a shoe, a switch, a flipper, a cable, a hanger, a toilet rack. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the back of your hand should be like a quick on the ass. It's a no. Don't do that. Not because I'm mad at you or I don't know how to express myself as a grown-ass adult, but because this is the only way I know that you'll know, don't do that thing. It's going to harm you or not benefit you in the long run. Going back to what I was saying about the father, though, a father should evolutionize. A father should not stop being a father, but they should recognize that as a child goes through life, their role may change.
Saying, ain't no way all that shit, that 5-minute spiel that you told me that I totally agree with on some shit,
On some shit? Okay, there's some holes you want to poke.
Ain't no way Nick Cannon can do that. There's no way. Because, let's just make it simple, bro. Money alone, it's going to cost, $100,000, $200,000, $200,000 per kid for Nick Cannon, right?
He said that he spent something like $200,000 a year on Disneyland.
Fucking having a ball. Like, nigga, you know how much money I spend at Disneyland a year?
We can imagine.
Nigga.
I got 6, so I kind of know.
What? It's no longer free. And I only had 2 kids then. So, like, to be 12, and every birthday, Chris, like, I'm literally at Disneyland at least once a month. And to move around Disney, like, I'm probably spending $200,000 a year at Disney.
Sheesh. See, that's retarded. I mean...
Where's the little thing where your faces go up? Where I gotta click the little, hold on.
Bro, the only way he's gonna be able to keep up with that shit, unless he got a piggy bank that's just overbursting, is he's gonna have to keep on working, bro.
Nick Cannon, first of all, we're gonna put some respect on Nick Cannon's name. There are about 4 or 5, there's 5 people on my list of hardest working individuals in the entertainment industry. Nick Cannon is probably around number 3 for me.
Okay.
That man makes, I think he said something like $100 million a year. Now, I'm going to look up what they say his net worth is. Let me tell you something. If anybody can afford it, it's fucking Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon's got the radio show in the morning. He hosts, Masked Singer. I don't think he does America's Got Talent anymore. That's Terry Crews. He's got Wild and Out. He owns that. Executive producing a bunch of shit on TV. Does the music thing. Bro has got so many checks coming in. I'm sure at this point, he's got to have a few people embezzling from him. That's how much money. When you getting so much money that people are embezzling from you and you don't know until 10 years later when the IRS is knocking on your door, that's how you know you're making real money.
Period, mama.
Okay, off a quick Google search, which we know was bullshit because the first thing it says is, as of 2024, he's worth $50 million.
Right, so...
He already said he makes $100 million a year.
Hey, listen, so he says that. What does that mean? It says right here, I see the same thing. It says in terms of his network, Nick Cannon worth about $50 million per Forbes.
I have not...
However, he did claim $100 million per year, so who lying?
I would think Google and whatever they're using to determine his worth. Because look, I've never seen any celebrity go in any interview and be like, yo, that shit that was reported by Forbes or that shit that Google said about my net worth, that was 100% right. They do this shit right here. Come on, man. But then they gotta stop because, tax people be watching.
Let's hear it.
Hey, bro, what the fuck is a father to you?
Right. Okay, so, I feel like anybody, right, could be a dad, right, or a sperm donor. I feel like that's just...
Anybody can nut in anybody. Absolutely.
Exactly. That's simple. But to be a father, I feel like, is to be present. And that and foremost is my main reason why Nick Cannon could not be a valid father, bro. Not to 11 kids.
How many kids, dog? I didn't even have to finish the entire sentence. I just put how many kid and then Nick Cannon was finished for me.
That's what he wanted, a Google search.
Oh shit, that man got 12 kids.
12. There's no way you can be present to 12 different kids, bro. Here's the other thing. I haven't even seen Nick Cannon with his twin Mariah Carey in years.
Yo, but that's a good thing though, right? That's somebody who's like, my kids aren't meant for the spotlight. I'm gonna keep them hidden and grow up as normal kids. Well, not normal because their mother is Mariah Carey.
My bro, what I'm saying is, if you on Wild 'N Out, you hearing something about Nick Cannon having 12 kids.
Everybody interested in how many kids you got.
Okay.
I ain't gonna be rude, you feel me, and just ask you how many kids you got. I ain't gonna ask you how many kids you got. Just tell me all their birthdays, just in case I want to get them some. Just in case I want to get them some. I mean, you got...
This show is only 30 minutes long. I plead the fifth.
Yeah.
Even more reason why I would hide my kids, because I know this is fodder for the press and for people watching.
Okay.
That to me is going into one of my 3 things to be a good father: protection. I'm protecting my kids.
But like, that's number one. Listen, I want to bring up something shit too on Twitter, right? There's a girl who posted like a picture, and this man, this old head, right, goes in her DMs and says, yo, you look good or something like that, right? And she's all like, do you not know that I'm your daughter?
Oh, I see.
No idea, bro. That's that shit about not being present. At least if I'm physically here, I know what I made. That's that non-present shit, bro. And on top of that, you would expect your kid to look something like you, bro. Something. Dang, that's crazy.
You're right, though. Presence is a big part of being a father. I think for me, though, it's got to be more than just being present, because you can be at my baseball game, but if I look up in the stands and you read a newspaper, well, I'm old, so, you know, I would be imagining they be reading a newspaper, but you on your phone, or you talking to the girl beside you because you a single daddy, so you talking to old homegirl and her friends. You ain't seen me swing a bat. You ain't seen me throw a pitch. You ain't seen me catch a ball. Then you present, but you not really there.
That's
you know
just
what I'm saying?
fun,
After the game, I should be able to talk to you about my stats. I had 0 hits. I got hit by a ball 4 fucking times.
Right? Yeah, I remember that, bro. I remember you used to come home with busted lips.
No, this is made up. No, this isn't real. No, this is imaginary.
I was on the
No,
bench
no.
too, though, so it don't matter.
Full disclosure, our Pop was there at the games. Pop was there at the games, and he was watching the games. Now, we're not doing that to Pop. Pop was there, and he watched the games.
That. I'm just saying, you got your ass beating baseball. It's crazy to say.
Oh, yeah, man.
Hey, that's
Them first few years, man, that ball hit me everywhere. I could be on third base, get hit with the ball. Be in the outfield, get hit with the ball. I was on the batter's fucking... No, I was at... What was I at where the ball just hit me?
Everywhere.
I don't even think I was on the field. I think I was on the side talking to the coach, and they did a pop fly, and they was like, look out!
Look out.
Yo, I was a fucking ball magnet, bro.
Get insane.
Man, we going back to football. We going back to fatherhood, though, because we here to celebrate, even though it don't sound like we celebrated shit yet.
Let me be positive. Do I think Nick Cannon is necessarily a bad person? No. I don't.
No, we're talking about a bad father. Do you think he's a bad father?
I'm saying bad person, so therefore do I think he's a... No, I don't think it's possible for him to be a father, is what I'm saying. I truthfully don't think he can.
Is it possible for him to be more of a father to some, less of a father to others?
Exactly. And I don't think that's fair, you know?
We're not talking about fairness, right? Because love and war and all that shit ain't none of that fair. We talk.
Hey, but he decided to have these kids. That's unfair. That's his choice.
But is it unfair that some of the kids still view him as a good father? Like, if you interviewed some of them and they was like, he's a great father, and then some of them are he's a bad father, does that just mean he's automatically just bad father?
All right, so I'll reframe this, right? So you saying just because if your dad treats you good, right, and your siblings who has the same father, right, and they treat him like shit, you're still gonna view your father in a good light?
You're saying if I view my father as a good father because he was good to me,
Yeah.
but my siblings view him as a bad father because he was bad to them, I should then... Do I still view him as a good father?
Right.
Yes. He was good to me. Now, if you say objectively, was he a good father? If you ask me, hey, was he a good father to everybody? I'd be like, well, no, he wasn't, because they obviously didn't have a good experience. But if you're asking me, then yes, he was a good father to me.
I'm saying, let's say you have a friend, right? And I hate to bring up some shit, but you found out that like he did some kind of like either just some real fucked up shit, right? Like he murdered somebody, but he was a good friend to you, right? You
I see what you're trying to do.
He's a murderer, and you like, hey, he ain't murder me though. That's a cool dude. That's a cool dude. That's
a cool nigga right there, nigga. Nigga, we never had no damn beef. He ain't never stabbed me, nigga.
He good. Nah. You judge accordingly, bro.
Yo, that's crazy. That's a good flip. All right. Truthfully, in that scenario, yo, it should be based off scenarios because we're not talking about a dad that's murdering his fucking kids. Obviously, if he murders one of them bastards, he's a bad dad.
Nick called him a bastard, bro. Hey, what am I
No. I'm not talking about Nick. I'm talking about in general. If a nigga murders one of his kids, then he's bad. Not talking about Nick, obviously. But in that scenario, yeah, I would be like, yo, he's a bad person, but he was a good friend to me. I'm alive. They not. Obviously not a good friend of them niggas. Hey, y'all wasn't cool with him like that.
All right, okay.
A Vince Staples show, bro, like episode 3. And in it, he's there at a bank trying to get a loan. They obviously deny him because he's a rapper and they ain't trying to hear it. So he goes downstairs and the bank gets robbed. Check it out. Everybody else in the bank is white. They end up on the floor, hands above their head, scared of shit. They about to get shot. Fair. What happens to Vince? Fucking Roberts was like, oh shit, yo, this little homeboy, nigga, I fuck with you and shit. He was like, yo, what's good, nigga? They was like, yo, you need something? You good? Nah, Roberts in here chilling, man, trying to get the little loan and shit, bro. To Vince, them niggas was good. Okay. We cool, bro. Okay. To all the other people in that motherfucker, though, you ain't know him like that. So y'all gonna have a bad perception. Perception is reality.
Perception is reality. Okay. And yeah, I feel like you can do the whole thing together where you can mess it. You can mess it.
I'm confused. No, everybody's experience is different.
Okay,
Tommy loves his teacher. Juwan hates his teacher. Dominique loathes his teacher. Okay, that's it. We can all have different experiences.
Right. When we like say we see all these kids saying the N-word, right, on Snapchat and shit.
Oh, like old girl on TikTok who thinks she's hard because she did it on the screen and nobody was gonna come check her. I would love. Hey, I don't even know your name. I don't even know your fucking name. I had to learn what trad wife is. Apparently, she's a trad wife. You know what that is?
No, I don't.
Trad wife is a traditional wife, very conservative values. But she felt so safe behind that screen. I just want you to go somewhere to like a supermarket, a Piggly Wiggly, something down south, so real down south in the grocery store and say it. I just want her to say it. Just say it, baby. Just say it. No, I'm with you. I think you can. I think you got every right to say it. I want you to. Go say that shit in the Piggly Wiggly. What was you saying? You were saying that. I'm trying to learn. What was you trying to educate me, brother? What's the problem with Nick?
Right. No. Well, here's what I'm saying, bro. All right. And I hope I'm not going too far here, right? When we find these people, right, on the internet, and they get canceled for saying something racist, right? Everybody's like, yeah, this person's a piece of shit. Everything they done in their life, donezo, you're a racist, right? But people in their life, who may not heard the word or don't care about the word, right? They think they cool. So are they cool or they're racist? Which one is it?
For us, they canceled. They donezo, finito, up out of here. For their family, they cool. Which is why, yeah, I would say that so. I think it's all perspective. They are cool for their family, yeah.
So do you think Nicholas, I don't know what his name,
we can just call him Nick. We don't know him like that. We just call him Nick. No, it's fine. He's very rich and I respect him and I'd like to work with him one day. Let's call him Nick. Mr. Nick if you want.
So Nick Bartholomew Cannon.
Why is it always Bartholomew the niggas give names to? All right, go ahead.
Will he be able to be an effective father for his 12 kids?
I don't know this man's hustle like that.
Yes or no?
I know that he ended up in the hospital.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no?
If we're judging...
Yes or no?
Hey, what's that game they play in Wild and Out? Plead the Fifth? And there's also been a theory for a long time. Not a theory, but there's been talks. People have been talking about how Nick may be on a genius path right now. He may be on the path of, at some point 100 years from now, when we're all long dead and gone.
Okay.
There's going to be a lot of people out here who are going to be able to trace their common ancestor, and it's going to be fucking Nick. Think about that. You've propagated a world that's all related to you. There's something special about that when you think about legacy.
What purpose, bro? Just so you can have...
Legacy.
A legacy? He already has a legacy. He's Nick Cannon. He had it.
Right, but when you dead and it's 100 years later, it's like there's that old guy. I don't know. You might have heard of him. He had a show. The one Dustin It Out. You know the one, Dustin It Out.
You don't need.
Yeah, bro. You're not gonna matter. But if you have, okay, you know what? This is a better question, right? And this goes into fatherhood. What is legacy to you?
Legacy for me personally is I made my mark on the world in some way, shape, or form. I'm not saying it's fame, riches, or anything like that, but there's somebody on this world who still remembers me.
Okay, so why wouldn't legacy not also be your kids then? Through that, you're being remembered always, forever.
But I heard that, like, yo, you're going to be a father of many. There's going to be your great influence, your lineage. Your offspring are going to do great things. Like, I've had that, and I'm like, oh, well, the more the merrier.
History until we know, right, earlier in the 1800s, 1900s, right, you had a whole bunch of kids, 5, 6, 7 kids, because you weren't even sure them motherfuckers were living, right? That's why you did. You just keep on having them, right? And if you had a whole bunch of girls, you keep on having them until you had a boy, right? What is he doing here?
Maybe he's still on that mindset. Now, but look, he knows his kids are going to live.
Okay.
Well, you know, God willing, they're going to live. And if I'm of that mindset that I'm here to provide a legacy, and my legacy is what my children go on to do and how they go on to contribute to the world, I'm going to have as many of them fuckers as I can, because that's what I've searched. I've had the money, I've had the cars, I've had the women. Now I'm in search of something deeper. And for me, it's how I continue on in this world, huh?
It's greed, bro. It's all greed. Why can't you?
You can't put that on him, though.
Why?
Because he's there for his kids.
But he's not going to be.
We don't know that. We don't know he's not going to be there for his kids.
11 kids, a meet and greet. Hey,
you're not alone,
daddy.
and I feel like a lot of the world judge this man on what he's doing for these kids. And I'm just like, yo, none of us have sniffed the amount of money that man has. And I know it's not all about money.
It's money for you, bro.
But but let me finish. Let me land this fucking plane. I'm just saying, if anybody has the socioeconomic ability to afford to have these damn kids, damn the other shit, because we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. We don't know how he's managing his time. We don't know how he is as a father. But what we do know is the motherfucker is rich. So based off what I do know, he can afford to do this. And until one of them kids come out and write the tell-all memoir saying my dad was a piece of shit, I'm gonna assume he's a good dad. He's doing all right. None of the baby mamas seem to be upset. They got nice houses. They still got career.
They're set for life. That's what it is.
So why are we upset? Why are you upset about how another man is living?
Exactly. So do you think he's enjoying having 11 kids?
He's done interviews where he sat down and said that he genuinely loves turning what he has with somebody else into a baby. He loves that feeling. He said the greatest gift he's ever been given is to be a father. So he likes to keep experiencing that gift.
But you ain't even around to be a father.
We don't know that. You keep saying that shit. We don't know.
It's impossible for you. Say he got.
I just told you.
He got the morning show. He got Wild Out. He got all this other stuff.
Think about this though.
Do that and go home and see all 11 of his kids.
I've learned, and even as a child and even as a parent, every child wants to have an individual relationship with their parent. So I focus more on, okay, I'm gonna show up and be there on Mondays for this basketball practice, and Tuesdays I'm gonna make sure I'm going to dance rehearsal, and Wednesday, for different, because that time, or just a ride in the car with your 4 or 5 year old, and just like, because they get that time, because when you have multiple children, everybody's vying for daddy's attention.
That's all it is.
I just don't think it's our place to tell this man what he could, should, or should not do, whether it's right or wrong. We can get into the moral implications of it.
I didn't say that. I ain't on Twitter being mad as fuck, like, damn, another one. I ain't mad about it.
There's a lot of people that's on Twitter like, damn, another one.
That's on that. But I ain't saying all that.
Well, then you take that attitude too then. Defend him and be like, yo, we celebrating fathers. Great job, Nick Cannon, having 11 kids. Keep going. Keep going till you feel completed. As long as you can, again, in my mind, take care of them in whatever your definition of take care of them is. We're gonna leave Nick Cannon, bro.
All right.
I think I'm finally starting to get to that point in life when motherfuckers around me are starting to look like, niggas, you gonna have a kid?
We've been asking.
Is
bro.
that?
Listen, we've been asking,
Mom was like at 14 telling me, baby, you gonna have a kid when you a teenager. No, you gonna have a kid at 16. 16, 17 is when I think you have, and like was dead serious, not a joke. Like, no, I know you gonna have a kid at this age. She just was so certain that I was gonna slip up. And then you enter your early 20s and there was no slip ups, and they were like, oh, all right, okay, I see you. You did your thing, you kept it cleaned up, wrapped up. Pops, his direction was, motherfucker, you too young. Live life. Have fun. You shouldn't be thinking about no kids. All the way through the 20s. Then one day I think I said something along the lines of, hey, Pop, I'm almost 30.
Yeah.
He said, who? I said, me, Pop. Me. He said, I don't even think he said anything. He just said, and then, not even directly to me, through the grapevines, you start hearing things like, I don't know, Pop, wondering if you gonna have kids. He's starting to look around like
what's going
this
on?
little nigga might not have kids in no way. As a young man, how has your relationships with the idea of becoming a father changed? Are you ready? Are you ready to take that next step?
Bro, I feel like for a lot of people, it's a goddamn roller coaster, right? You know, it's up like, I'm ready. But then you get like a hint of a kid in a grocery store or a movie theater, and they're like, shut the fuck up. Fuck them kids, bro. I feel like it's something like that. I truthfully feel like a lot of people, especially in the early 20s, is fuck ups. It's fuck up, like, you know what? Yeah, I can have a kid. Not realizing what the exactly like that's what you get for the next 18 years if you
18 years my ass. That's life. What did we just say? You didn't take the father hat.
Some people, we gotta make it to 18 and then 40. That's when you go out and do all that shit. But I'm just saying, I feel like a lot of it, people just get caught up in the actions that they think they know what they're doing.
So that's like you start pushing the ball down the road. At least for me, I felt like I was pushing the ball down the road because I'm like, okay, I got to get to a place of basically three things. One, financial security, where I know I'm going to give better than I got. I think I had a pretty good childhood, most things considered, compared to a lot of other individuals in some really shitty circumstances. We had our downs and we had our struggles, but for the most part, I'm alive. I want to provide a position where my kid doesn't have to worry about the same struggles that I had to worry about, and also can look forward to more things than I even dreamed about thinking I could do. Like, for example, college, right? For us growing up, it was something that was talked about in school, not so much in the household.
Not often.
Like, that just wasn't a reality. And then I can remember having the conversation with, pop.
Okay, now we're on the same page. Go ahead. Okay.
And being like, basically, hey, what's the college fund looking like? Like, how are we gonna make this work? And he was like, college fund.
Hey, you should have known when the lights cut off, bro. There was no goddamn college fund.
Better go to the military or figure that shit out, which is how I ended up in the military. But that's besides the point.
Okay.
The point being, Dad took us out of the hood. You know what I'm saying? He took us out of a really, what could have been a bad situation, and gave us an opportunity to see more of the world and do and learn more than we possibly could have in our actual hometown. So that was his job. So then it's on us, right, to provide the next step, the next platform, which would be, okay, these kids should be like, no, college is not only something that we talk about, it is a real thing. Like, there is money set aside for me to go to college of my choosing if I can make it into it. The second thing that I said was a criterion for me was, at 20, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, I just felt like I had nothing to pass on. If I had a kid, we would be figuring this shit out together. Right. I might give you a beer before you were ready to have a beer, just because I'm like, well, shit, I'm having a beer. Why can't little nigga have a beer? I'm drinking. Because that's the other thing when it comes to parents, bro. You can't tell me don't smoke weed if you ain't never smoked weed, right? Because you can't tell me what the fuck it actually does. Okay. It's hard for you to tell me the consequences of drinking if you ain't never had a drop. The third thing that I thought about being when it came to having a kid was this. Okay. And I know people are going to disagree with me here. When you have a kid, to some large degree, let's call it 84%.
Okay.
Your life needs to stop.
Why?
I just feel like when you are ready to truly bring another person into this world, you should almost dedicate everything you have, especially in those first 18 years, into not only preparing them for this world, but giving them the best possible tools and resources to like beyond succeed, like literally make them the best possible version of themselves as you can. I'm not saying that you're gonna achieve that, but if you're busy chasing your own dreams and like going out trying to make it happen on your own, like that's still attention diverted away from your choice, and your choice was to bring a life into this world. Because at the end of the day, what do a lot of us say is we didn't choose to be here. This fucking world is hard. Yes. So if you chose to bring me here, I'm hoping it's with the forethought of knowing that I'm doing this for a reason. There's something that I want you to experience.
See, but I mean, I'm hearing what you're saying, right? But okay. I just remember this quote where they're saying having a kid is like the most selfish thing you could do. Like, how selfish of you is it to have a mini one of you? Like, that's some selfish ass shit. So why can't we, I guess, reframe and be like, do I necessarily even need to bring a kid in the world? Why can't I be selfish towards me?
That's a good question.
Right. And if not that, let's say you have a kid, right? I don't think this whole narrative of your life has to stop. I don't think that.
I knew a lot of people were going to disagree with me on that. Yep.
I don't think it's a healthy thing to do. That's where you end up in your 40s and 50s, have all these regrets, and then you don't even want the kid around. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I said that you shouldn't have a kid until you're absolutely ready, and that's what I mean.
Have we heard people saying there's never a right time for anything, especially when it comes to a kid? You never.
Yeah, but 21, 22, I don't think your 20s is the right time.
Okay.
We're talking about regrets. I mean, my friends haven't entered that stage yet, but over the next decade, they might start entering that stage where a lot of them had kids right out of high school or in their early 20s.
Right.
And they may look back and go like, I didn't do shit in my 20s. I was at home the entire time. I wanted to negate that, so you should never put the blame on your kids for choices you made.
Unfortunately, right, we're talking like in the perspective of a man, but if you start talking about women here, they hit 30s, and right there, that's a big like X on your back, like, hey, this is gonna be a high risk pregnancy. They're like your prime, unfortunately, and I hate to say prime 30s woman, but they don't have like just the.
I think by 35 or something like that, it becomes a high risk pregnancy or something like that.
Even alone is kind of like, okay, time bomb ticking down.
Time is ticking, right? So, which is why I can understand why women feel more of a pressure to have kids a little bit earlier, or at least like maybe in their late 20s apply. I mean, fucking Robert De Niro just having a baby, he in his 80s. I don't know what. That's a
yes
weird.
Or no. Yes or no.
Fuck no. Yeah. I know there's no rush, and we're trying to push this progressive message of live your life. That's too fucking old. That's too old.
It's too old. That's not
the
fair.
baby is 10 and you have a headstone. That's crazy.
That's exactly. They got to give a goddamn eulogy at 10. I miss Daddy. Daddy was nice. I like pushing him in his wheelchair. No.
We can't say that shit, yo. Growing up, I mean, look, shit, fuck. Let's start with growing up. Father's Day was not a big deal. In fact, and I can't speak to other communities because I didn't grow up in those communities, fathers in general just were not looked at in a positive light. I can remember very vividly having classmates and friends who just didn't have a dad in their life, and it was pretty much fuck they dads. And it was confusing because outside of that, society as a whole would tell me that especially black dads were deadbeats and individuals not really to look up to. And it was the mom that was the rock of the household and the person that you should, be strongly emotionally attached to. Ours was a little bit different.
Yeah.
Now, we had a relationship with our mother, obviously, and it was a good relationship, and mom did her thing. But we grew up with our father.
Infancy. Yeah,
pretty much, right? Like all of our lives, right? So my thought was always that you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. My dad is great. My dad is superhuman. Every time we had the little fucking who's your hero thing, the first thing I would do would write, my dad's my hero. He's the greatest person I know. He's made so much sacrifice for me. He takes care of me. And as we're looking at society now, and the message that surrounds Father Day, like, do you even see fanfare of like celebrate dads? Has it changed for you now?
I think as time progresses, I do think there is a whole generational thing, and I'm not going to bring politics on this, but the war on drugs and the kind of shit, like the separation of the black families. There's a lot of history there. I feel like there is a whole generation of young men, specifically black men, that do want to break the cycle of being involved in their kids, and they do also want to change the narrative of a father not being able to be there for their kid, and therefore like this day is important. Like they're making those sacrifices. And I just want to agree. I remember my dad not basically being able to fix any problem that came at all. Like I really saw him as Superman. If he was leaving to the store, I was right there with him. Like I was on this dude's hip, right? So I do like concur, like growing up, usually it was the opposite with our friends. Either they didn't, have her father around, or they just didn't know their father at all in general.
I want to end this on a positive note, right? I want to end this on a positive note to like all the fathers out there that are doing their thing. First of all, I want to say this. If y'all looking for a movie right now that highlights fatherhood,
okay,
King Richard, which is the movie I'm going to talk about, and it's got Will Smith playing, what's his name? Richard, yep. I think it's Richard. I think it's why it's called King Richard.
Yep, that makes sense.
But it's got Will Smith playing Venus and Serena's father. I think it got 3 more minutes into the movie where they show him like going home and getting his daughters and then going to Compton's tennis court and practicing with them. And I was hooked. I was hooked more than if I was watching Deep Blue Sea or Leprechaun or whatever action, high tense, Final Destination, Fast and Furious movie you'd want to see. That's how I didn't want to leave the room because it is such a gripping tale. Gripping is a weird word. I feels like a critic. Okay. Such a hooking, such a just like a fucking movie that makes you go, I can't captivate. That's a good one. That makes you go, I can't look away from the screen because you're seeing this man, this father, who against all odds, I mean, literally, he's getting his ass whooped. In front of 5 little girls, his beautiful girls in his van, just trying to protect them and do better for them and show them that there's that there's something bigger for them, regardless of what their environment tells them there is. And that just goes through the entire movie. The movie just does such a good job of portraying this man as a father who would do anything for his children. And I was like, yo, this is so perfect for a day like this. So I'm highly recommending you watch King Richard because I think honestly it's Will Smith's best performance I've seen.
I
think he can.
I want to add on to that about a scene at the end of the movie, if you don't mind, because I'm actually relevant on this movie.
Oh, are you? You watched it?
Right. I've seen it.
Oh shit! I didn't know you watched it. Okay, go ahead.
Last night that I thought I'd seen the movie. So spoiler here, right?
Oh, I mean it's the real story. I don't know. You can't really spoil it.
It's been out for a while, so
go ahead.
I'm just gonna say at the end of the movie when Venus is about to go out there and I think go against I think the world number 1 at 12 years old or something like
number
that,
1,
right?
and she ain't played in like 3 years.
Exactly, and I think either at this point or before she had turned down a Nike deal or something like that because they were underpaying her.
$4 million. Yep.
Right. But she denied it, one, and then I think the other thing that was important is I think they asked her if she was nervous about facing this world number 1, and she said no. And then they're like, oh, well, are you sure? That was a really confident answer. And then you have Will Smith, King Richard come in there and he's like, hey, she told you no. Don't try to put no guilt on her head. Like 10 toes down for his daughter. And that you know what? That's Father's Day for me. That's what I'll put it.
That's a good fucking, I like that. That's a good button too. That's exactly, because you're right. I'm not even gonna add nothing to that. You absolutely right. Watch this fucking movie. Also, I would like to ask you in turn, what about personally? Do you have people in more of the personal sphere that you like to highlight for this Father's Day?
I mean, you setting it up, bro. I guess I gotta give a shout out to the original Jerry. You were there. Nah, I'm just kidding. Hey.
I ain't getting shit. Pop, I hope you're watching this right now. You see what he said?
Nah, for real. Obviously, I want to be who I am today. Opportunities that I have today. If my dad didn't make sacrifices all those years ago, leaving from a not very nice town. So my father, obviously. I'll leave it at that.
It was less than ideal. It
wasn't a town that we would have thrived in.
All right, well then I'm gonna end it with this and saying that yes, one shout out to Pops, man, because at the end of the day, the same kid that was writing the notes saying this dude is my superhero has turned into a 30-year-old man that appreciates all the sacrifices that he made and standing up as a black father and doing what was against the grain, especially during that time in the 90s where it was like, I am going to take care of my kids and I'm going to get them out of this situation and make sure that they have better opportunities. Also, I just want to highlight all the dads that I just know in my own personal circle of just friends, especially the ones who started out young and are still there, still making it work. You guys are great. I don't know how the fuck you're doing it, but I feel like, again, not enough attention is paid to the dads out there who are showing up every day, who are dealing with the stresses of being a man and trying to be a good parent and just what comes along with that. So shouts out to y'all. We do see you. We do appreciate you. I'm giving you a fucking strong pat in the back. For you motherfuckers out there that drink Heineken, I got one on you. If you motherfuckers drink Bud Light, I got one for you. You drink Budweiser, you fucking nasty. They ain't got shit for you. That's disgusting. But if you drink Guinness, though, I got you too. That's it, man. I want to, again, shout out to everybody, Nick Cannon and all of them for being great dads. And, those are the final thoughts. Thank you so much for watching Stand on Business. I don't know why I'm still talking. It's not like there's an outro to this. We just kind of end at some point,
Just go black. That's it.
Pretty much. It just fades out. Like music starts or some shit like that. Or we do something funny like, and then it'd be like, it just fade away.
Bro, then I'll end on a joke. What's the most musical part of a turkey?
What's the what?
What is the most musical part of a turkey?
Hey, look at me when you tell this joke. Look at me when you tell me this fucking joke. All right, hit me.
The drumstick.
I don't like you. I don't know if I told you that. I don't fucking like you.